All right, good morning. Welcome to Lengthen and Strengthen. You will join me on the mat for the next 50 minutes. We're going to go through some amazing deep stretches and lengthen and strengthen your body to recover, rest, and find inner peace and strength with stretching. So join me on the mat. I'll meet you there. Grab your water and a mat, and if you have a yoga strap and a foam roller would be awesome too. So I'll see you on the mat. Today I'm lighting a candle just for some beautiful memories and just as a reminder of my own intention and peace. So if you have a candle, this is a battery operated one. I had it for my Halloween pumpkins, so I thought I'd put it out. So not really a flame, I guess it's like the flame is eternally burning. So I'm leaning at the top of my mat and just grab like everything you can. Don't have to rush to get it. Give yourself a minute or two, but I will meet you in child's pose on the mat. So if you're already there, that means you're going to come down. Knees are as wide as the mat. Your toes are going to meet together, your big toes. You're going to push your hips back and down. You're going to allow yourself to come towards the ground, walking your hands out towards that candle or light. Bring your chin towards the chest and head towards the ground. We're going to hold here for about 2 minutes just to kind of take deep breaths. We usually start in a sitting position, but today we're going to start in this position. So please allow yourself some inhales and exhales, deep inhales through the nose and nice full exhales through the nose or the mouth, depending on where you are today. Allow yourself to melt into the mat with every breath. Become more at one with your mat. Allowing all the muscles in the front of the feet, pushing the hips back and down towards those heels. Bringing the chest towards the ground, the forehead towards the mat. If you want, you can rub side to side. Give yourself a little bit of a self-massage right in the forehead. A little bit more active, you can keep your fingertips up. Getting a little bit more of a stretch through the upper back. Here for another 30 seconds, just find your place, your peace. In 5 seconds, I want you to slowly think about your hands towards your knees, lifting yourself up, bring your knees together, either sitting back or bring your feet to one side and coming towards a seated position. Bring your feet out in front. You can come a little closer if you want to. Feet out in front. We're going to point and flex for just a second. So take your feet and you're going to lift them up real tight, flexed, and point. And while we're at this, let's give ourselves a little bit of a hug. So we're going to have our hands out to the side. Give yourself a hug. Keep your shoulders away from the ears. And point and flex those toes. Opening up the toes if you can when you come back towards the top, and keep them real tight together when you come towards the pointing. Now some of those arms back out nice and wide and wrap yourself around the other way. If you want, lift the elbows a little bit, sit through the sit bone. and breathe. Closing your eyes sometimes helps us to concentrate, a little bit more focus. Notice the quiet. Unwrap yourself, bring your knees in, and now take a big, big, nice hug around your knees. Walk your knees in towards the bottom. Wrap yourself around. Wherever you feel comfortable, tuck the chin to chest and hold. Sit up through the sit bones, lengthen through the spine, tuck the chin to chest, and now tip your head forward. Feel that full body stretch all the way up the spine, lower back. You can rock side to side, sit bone to sit bone. And we're going to do that again. So let's take our feet out. Step nice and tall, hands up to the side, open up the chest, wrap yourself in a big hug. Lift the elbows towards, lift them up towards the chin. Okay, so you got both your hands around. And now, can you point and hold? And what if I ask you to cross over and just now flex? Get a different stretch and then point and then flex and point and flex while keeping amazing posture. Zip up through the spine, right through the navel, sit up nice and tall. And release, take that knee down, switch the feet, and now switch the arms. Another one goes on top, lift the elbows towards the chin. And if you want, you can even tuck the chin to chest this time. You should feel that stretch in the upper back, maybe through the shoulder blades. Now breathe. I better cross my shirt on purpose to remind myself today to breathe. Be still. Now point and flex. That little seconds of stillness come a long way for you inside the soul. Take that foot off. Unravel. Bring those knees in again. This time, can you go a little bit wider? And now just kind of grab around each knee. Even if you just kind of want to hold the hands or palms together, crossed, the feet forward. Lift up, sit through the sit bone, and now tip the hips forward, chin to chest, and hold. Wonderful. Slowly roll up, bring ourselves into Cobbler Pose. Our feet come together. Rotate a little bit yourself towards the front to make sure you're facing front. Hip points are facing me. We're going to ignite ourselves up first a little bit, get a little bit warm. So I want us to take our hands together. We're just going to rub a little bit together, creating a little bit of electricity through the hands. Find yourself all of a sudden starting to get a little bit more alive, a little bit more awake. The warmth of your hands going and distributing between all the fingers. Make palms, fingertips now. Let's try to separate it and do it. Just the palms. And now let's try to make like a kind of like a pair of hands, I guess, across the fingers together and just hold. And then can you press yourself out? So your hands are opening, wrist, like a little wrist stretch. Breathe, get a little bit of that upper back stretch while you're here. Bring it back in, and can you just press it out this time? Now don't overly extend those wrists, okay? Just kind of gently press out the same movement pattern, just pushing out. Wonderful. When you're ready, bring your hands to your feet. They should be nice and warm, right? So now our feet, that might be a little bit chilly. Let's give them a little love. some rest and restoration. Monday morning can be sometimes a difficult time to find the mat or find your place. But sometimes just starting the week out, right mindset. It doesn't mean life won't hold a lot of different things for us, but I do believe in the power of the healing through the stretching, the focus, and the breathing. We're going to foam roll in a little bit, but just kind of just give the feet just a little love through the toes to warm everything up. Let's cross one foot in and the other foot in front. Try to bring those knees as close to the floor as you can. Reset everything, reset yourself. Take exhale to one side. We've done these steps numerous times for side body stretch. Some of these stretches are always going to be the same. Why? Because we need it. It's the same repetitive motion. There's nothing wrong with it. They're the things that work. Now watch. My knee wants to lift, right? So I want to try to keep my knee towards the ground, but not pushing it with my hand, just kind of making myself aware while lifting myself up. Heart is towards the sky. Eye gaze towards the sky. And I'm trying to come down as far as I can without losing that sit bone on the ground. To the other side. Got like static clean today. Keep that sit bone on the ground. You should pretty much see my entire time my breathe. Okay, I'm doing that on purpose, trying to show you guys. So with my chin and chest go this way, right? You want to be able to see up. Something's coming up on my computer. So you guys keep going. Joey's done something. There we go. It's okay. Something is doing something funny, but I think we're still okay. Just bear with me. Stay in the position you are. Technology, right? And to the other side. And lift. All right, let's bring those legs back out. Take a leg up, one knee comes up. We're gonna cross over. Take our other elbow, bring it to the other side, or just a hand. Lift and twist. My kids were in gym class, they call this Hollywood. You're gonna kind of sit nice and tall, looking over that back shoulder. Zip up to the center. Don't forget to breathe. And now slowly release to the other side. Bring the other knee up. Cross the leg over. The other opposite arm or elbow can tuck on and over. Lift yourself up and twist to the back. Nice full lengthening in the spine. Get as much strength through that core by bracing and lifting. Look over that back shoulder. Lengthen through the neck, lengthen through the spine, lengthen through the back arm. And slowly to the front. All right. Now, what I'd like us to first do before we go into this foam rolling is come into our 90-90 stretch, please. That is the 90-degree angles here and also in the back. We're going to face the front. We're going to do a massive hip stretch here for a nice deep stretch. You're going to have a hand on each side. Both hip points are facing forward, and you're going to tip forward, falling towards the ground. Try not to fall into your shin though. Just bring your nose towards the mat and allow yourself to bring your head towards the mat and hold. If you want a little bit more, you can bring your palms and stack them and let your head rest as a headrest. All the way down if that's where you are today. We're going to hold here for 1 full minute. The most important thing is to keep activity in the feet and to breathe. We know the drill. If you've been here before, you go through some of these lengthening and full deep stretches before we go into foam rolling or with the strap, just to allow our bodies to be warmed up. A lot of it's going to be the same thing, but the same thing gets us amazing results. Simple, consistency. It doesn't have to be fancy. Slowly walk yourself up towards the top. You're going to bring this leg around, switch the leg so you're 90-90 the other way. Leg is going to come towards the top. This foot is going to come knee, ankle, feet, knee is out like the number 4, okay? The hands are on both sides. We tip forward from the hip, coming down towards the ground, bringing our nose towards the ground, not allowing yourself though to fall into the shin. More gently, gracefully bring yourself down. If this is where you are today, that's awesome. If coming down further is great. You can stack those, like I said, fists, or now you come all the way down. Just keep that activity through the feet. It keeps a little bit of energy, positive energy right at the feet. So if you want to wiggle your toes a little bit, making sure your hip points are towards the center. So if you need to reset yourself, don't be afraid to reset yourself and go back into the same stretch. Nothing wrong with that. And now we breathe. You feel an amazing deep stretch through your hip complex, all the way through this hip, through the butt, the glute. You're gonna feel a lot going on there. You can thread or floss, kind of moving 1 inch or 1/2 an inch side to side, barely at all, to all those little muscle fibers. Relax your ears, relax your mouth. Slowly walk up towards the top, come up towards the top, and this leg around safely. We are going to keep this leg in, cross this leg over if possible, okay? If you can get that far. This is like level 1, that's fine. You don't even have to cross it over if you want. You grab a sip of water. Another option, going in a little bit deeper, is going to be coming more into like a cow pose. So the knee is front. This knee is going to try to stack a little bit more on top, and this foot's going to try to come out slowly. So take your time getting into position. So eventually you want these knees stacked on top. My flexibility is not there yet. This is a new position I'm trying out a lot more of. It's kind of like a very, very deep hip stretch. Try to keep this knee though more towards the center, so mine wants to go over. Just kind of hold wherever that is for you. Like I said, if you want the knee up all the way, there's nothing wrong with that. Keep the sit bones on the ground. So find your sit bones and make them go into the ground. Sit up nice. Zip up right through the top. Imagine a string pulling you. You can see that line in my, there, like pretend like that is like a line all the way up and I have to sit nice and tall, the line of my window. See that in the back? That's like perfect, I think, unless I can't see with my glasses. I think that's in the middle of my head. If it's not, pretend like I'm an ornament on a Christmas tree hanging like one little bit over or this way or that way. But I think it's in the middle. I just have my sit bones though, so I think I would have to be over. This should be a little bit uncomfortable. Like you kind of want to come out of it. When it does that, please find your sit bone again. Make sure you're sitting on both of them. Not a sharp knife pain, but something that's not super comfortable. It would be normal. Opening the heart and chest to the sky. Let go of the feet. Let the hands fall towards the earth. Palms towards the sky. Chest lifts, eye gaze towards the sky. Close the eyes and breathe. Release. Slowly bring yourself in. Bring this leg safely onto the ground, flat foot. Bring this knee up. Bring the knee towards the center. We are going to cross this leg over. If that is where you are today, that is perfectly amazing. Remember that. There's my candle. Not letting my fire go. My fire lit. I was a little bit of a fire in the morning for Halloween too. So I have a Halloween baby, my firstborn, 17. So I was fire, lighting up the world. Decided I'm going to carry this little light, that little song, the light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. Carry around with me. All right, so get yourself set up. Knee is most close to the top, towards the front as it can. It's still time to get these stretches, so don't rush anything. Find those sit bones now. I'm going to pause where the foot can't come any further down. That's okay. Find the sit bones, find the center, find your center. Okay, I've got my center line running up my head. Shoulders are back and down. This time, can we take the palms a little bit further back? Kind of like, I don't want to say like in the Titanic, like this, kind of like let go, right? Opening up your chest to the sky. Even like a mermaid pose. Sit bones are on the ground. Release in the hips, please. Release any tension in the jaw. If you close your eyes sometimes, it helps to lengthen and strengthen the mind to a new space, a new spot. Bring the arms closer, back to the feet. Give them a little love. Make sure. And be still. Slowly unravel ourselves. Bring this foot to the floor flat. Bring this knee up. Give ourselves one big hug again, all the way in. And bring your feet as close to your bottom as you can. Tuck the chin to chest and hold. When we're done giving ourselves a hug, please find your foam roller. If you don't have one, you can use your fingertips and palms and fingers. Otherwise, find your foam roller. We're going to do some foam rolling. Breaking up the fascia. All that connective tissue gets so tight, and we need to break that up to allow for better circulation, blood flow, and a lot of preventative injury. I feel like $1 million. I feel like after it. I'm going to check the time, and I'm also going to make it be a little bit brighter on me. Awesome. Okay, so find your foam roller for me. If you have one, great. If you don't have to have one. If you can get one, I always recommend, this is probably the best tool you're going to find. I don't think many other things work as well as this does. We're going to start at our calves and work our way up. What I'm going to ask of you today to do is just kind of get to the point where you're going to at least do one leg at a time. I can start with this leg so it's easier to see for you guys. Level 1, you would just have both feet on, and you would take, allowing gravity to take over. Don't let your feet like literally putting yourself just on a foam roller or just starting to rub your calves can cause them to kind of tense up. So allow yourself to kind of let them relax. So the meaty part of your calf is over and they're just kind of hanging out here. You would just kind of roll back and forth for level 1. This is enough sometimes for people just to walk the calves and roll, coming side to side. That's one way you can do it, okay? So that's just what I wanted to show you. The second way is, I'm gonna start with, this is gonna be the one I'm gonna roll out. So I'm gonna do the bottom first. I'm gonna cross over, that's level 2. Level 3 is to lift yourself off the ground. Level 2, we're just gonna roll back and forth. I'm gonna get onto the middle roller, which is more like the fingertips. This is like a palm like a bigger, flatter area, and these are fingertips, and then the little teeny knobs on mine are like, or fingertips, and then like these are like fingers. So the same thing can be done with your hands. Roll back and forth from like mid calf to right above my ankle joint, forward and back. Try 4, 4, and 4. So nice and easy, nice and slow. Nothing needs to be quick about this. This will take your breath away if done correctly. We're going to roll side to side, one way, east to west for 4. It's a very active recovery stretch. Foam rolling when done daily for about 10 minutes. It just makes such a difference in everything you do. When you don't do it, you feel that you haven't done it. If you find a spot anywhere, you can go now into kind of a sawing position where you kind of dig yourself into or hold the spot. Like I have one right here, a little like a ball or a knot. You can rub it nice and gently. You can be barely moving this, or just allow yourself to breathe and melt into the foam roller. Wonderful. All right, I'm going to move up towards the meaty part of the calf. I'm going to allow both parts of it to hang over. As you can see, kind of how it's hanging over. And think about it, my heel is that close to the ground. Okay, that's how much. If I do this, that's the tension. You want it to relax. Okay, that's going to be the more uncomfortable part, I guess I should say. It shouldn't be really painful. Not like a nice pain where it's like causing you injury, but it is not going to be easy or feel great. It should literally make you wince and take your breath away. Does not sound like fun. Okay, so I like teaching this class because apparently it's one of those things I've always said to you guys, I miss the wincing in person. Okay, I'm gonna start wincing myself. My calves are very tight. I helped with a big move yesterday. So sometimes when you stand for a long time, that will be a big part of what happens. Someone is coming into the class now, so I'm going to let them in. So you guys keep going. Anytime, any minutes, anyone can be in here. I always love it. Roll side to side. And then, like I said, if you find a spot, then you can take and dig into that area. So the back of my calf, for instance, may be really tight. So I'm going to take in deep breaths and breathe through. Over here, I have like a little, almost like a little knot. So I'm going to find the foam roller, allow it to go into the mat and breathe. Watch my toes. Want to make sure they're just relaxed. Instead of tensing my whole foot up, just relax your leg, allowing yourself to melt into the foam roller, become one. Feel that muscle kind of wanting to break apart. It's literally not muscle, I shouldn't say that. The fascia is breaking up. It's all the connected tissue. Allowing yourself to feel loose and filled with energy. Those legs should feel amazing by the end of a foam rolling session. It's basically like a self-massage. And release. And the same thing can be done without a foam roller. So like last night, I know for me, the foam roller was too much. So like you can come up and down with the fingertips, okay? Now watch, this little fingertip in here, rubbing the fingers up and down, or the palm of the hand, or the entire palm, and then coming into with the fingertips into the calf, all the way down into the like Achilles tendon area down in here. You should feel something pretty intense with or without a foam roller. You can also kind of do one of these with the thumbs where you're kind of digging in underneath. And I don't know about you, but I feel that just as intense as I do with that, if not, actually, if not more. So let's give some love to these calves. Don't be, you know, afraid to take time with your calves. Your calves lead to the feet. The feet are a foundational, you know, they hold us up. They do all the things we need. So we need to really give a lot of love to this area, especially back here and behind, heels, anything like appendicitis. You can also get into the heel. The same kind of thing can happen. That's another thing you can do with the foam roller, or like if you get one of the roller balls for your feet, you can actually just roll out your heel. Same kind of thing, or the whole foot. Do it with your, like I said, fingertips or fingers and palm, thumbs. All right, I'm going to check this computer again. Go to the other leg. I'm going to make sure, Sherry, welcome to class. I'm going to make sure you can see me. Now we're going to go to the other leg. So I'm going to move my little light. This leg is going to come onto the foam roller. So this is what I'm going to be working. I get a little thirsty because it's kind of like when you're a massage and they tell you drink a lot of water if you've ever had a massage. It's the same kind of concept. So it's going to make you a little bit thirsty. Don't be surprised. Do that bottom part of my foot, calf first. So more from like the ankle joint to like mid calf. So that's very tight for me. One leg might not be the same as the other. Level 1, you just kind of leave it up there. Level 2, I cross over to create a little bit more weight on the top, just a little bit more. And level 3 would be I'd lift myself up to allow myself to feel that full weight of that other leg. But today, I'm just going to give myself level 2. I'm okay with level 2. I'm okay with level 1. Now, again, remember forward and back, and then if you sit, it's active. So like you're working with this, it's not just rolling for you. So I'm going to roll side to side, east and west, break up the tissue side to side, get into it any way you can. Breathing is truly necessary. Well, it is anyways, but in this, you must breathe through it or it's going to be difficult to get through. So don't be afraid to make the noises. I guess what I meant was intentional breathing, like don't be afraid to make those noises. It will turn eventually to wincing. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that could feel like that. And that's okay too. If you find a spot, a little bit of seesaw or kind of floss, meaning like think about flossing your teeth, like up in it, it's kind of the same thing you're doing with this foam roller. It's kind of like flossing in the area. So you find one little area, it's like you stay there, kind of rub back and forth. But the flossing part is more like a intentional dig in and up, in and up, in and up. And then we move towards the meaty part of the calf. Foam roller is this amazing tool. It like sits there, right? I don't know about you, but sometimes it sits there all the time. And like what is right at our, I don't know, it's like there's no place like home, right? It's just like sitting with us. So if you can get one, sometimes even online, they're not overly expensive, but they are such an amazing tool. You'll feel like so much better after doing a foam rolling session for yourself. Take the calf, again, we're gonna go forward and backwards. That's all you want to do today. Leave that heel towards the ground. Watch this, try not to do this. That's gonna be tension, you're gonna want to, if you haven't done this before. Otherwise, cross over, and you're just gonna roll this out. This calf is not as tight, so I can tell because I can get up to level 3 right away. It's still tight, but it's not as tight. I probably put more of my weight in my right side, which makes sense. I'm right-handed, so hold a lot of more tension in my right. Now I'll try to roll that. Ooh, okay, this is where you're gonna feel it. Try to roll that side to side, so east to west. This is the meaty part of the calf, so it's that part of the calf that kind of hangs over on both sides. I'm gonna go one way and the other way. And then again, remember, you always can do this with your fingertips and palms. You can just be doing a massage, a self-massage with your hands. So if you do not have a foam roller, that's no excuse. There's no reason you cannot do the same kind of thing with your hands. Your hands actually will get a good workout too. And it's a nice bicep and tricep workout if you're just using your hands. I'm doing this because like it literally takes food away. You can feel that connective tissue. I have a spot right there. So now I'm going to let it hold. I'm going to let it sit and melt into this with my breath. Allow myself to watch. You can see my whole tense of my shoulders and my hands. That's how much like that intense. So just relax. Nobody said it was not uncomfortable. Wherever you find your spots, awesome. And slowly, slowly take both, try to roll them out for just a second. Give some love to the whole calf, walk it up and down, point and flex, maybe do a few circles one way with the ankles for some ankle mobility, strengthening and lengthening through the toes, all those metatarsals, phalanges, everything. Get them all rotating, all moving in one pattern, and now all moving the other way in one pattern. I'm watching them on purpose to make them move in one pattern movement. And then we're going to take and roll a little bit just to release the calves. Wonderful. All right, that should feel really good. On our thighs for a second here. So the thigh is going to be the same concept where if you can, please come onto one thigh, maybe like in a plank position. Maybe I'll show it from the side actually. I'm going to show it from the side. So you're going to be in a plank position. You're going to have it start right above the knee joint. And if you want to move your mat, there's no reason you have to start like right away, okay? You can come into a plank position. Again, this is active. You're in, the knee is on the ground on the other side. Roll forward and back. Level 2 would be to lift the toe. Would you see how my toe went off the ground or leave it on the ground? This is level 1. If you lift off, you're going to create a little bit more, a little bit more something, I guess. You walk yourself back. It's an active stretch, so it's not like you're just laying there. Foam rolling the same way. You want to go all the way up and all the way down. If you have a big enough foam roller, sometimes, so like you keep moving, you're doing one leg. They have rollers that are larger. So I'm going to show you it on this. Like this is one where it takes up, it's a little bit larger, but not much more expensive, to be honest with you. This one doesn't have all the little bells and whistles, which there's nothing wrong with that either. This does just what the other one can do, very effective too. This, I can put both my legs on. So I'm going to come up to a plank position, put my knees, it's right above my knee. I don't want to be on my knee, right? I'm in a plank position, walk myself down, and I'm going to do my whole, both legs at one time. So you can see where this could go a little bit different. If you had a bigger foam roller too, you go forward and back on your quads. And here's the thing, try not to let the back like sink, right? You want to be in a nice, strong plank position. So if I had you at the top, your shoulders would be right above your elbows, okay? Your neck would be in line with spine. And all you're doing is like an army crawl. The other option is to keep those feet on the ground. You do not have to take them off. And now I want you to find the mid part of your quad, and you're going to saw or roll one side to the other. So you're just kind of moving that muscle around, breaking up that connective tissue, the fascia, either towards the mid thigh or upper thigh, wherever you have it tighter. If just doing this is enough, rolling forward and back for 30 seconds, and don't do anything else. If lifting your feet off and kind of that seesaw motion back and forth is enough. Three, two, slowly bring the knees to the ground, hands come up, lift yourself up, and come all the way up. Now, if you have a larger foam roller or smaller, it's up to you. Wherever you are, we're going to come onto our bottom. It's like a little bit of a gymnast, right? So If you can, have a seat on the foam roller. We're gonna have our bottom on the foam roller. We're gonna take our arms towards the back or just lift ourselves towards the front. What I'm gonna do this one though is I'm gonna try to keep one hand on the ground. Try to do it on the mat so it's not gonna slip out under you. Try to get it on a mat. And I'm going to try to bring my leg up, opening my hip, okay? So one bottom on the roller. I'm getting a hip opening stretch, while also being able to roll out side to side. Slowly lower the leg, you lift the other side up, get yourself set, get yourself in a position. If you have to move your foot out or in. And again, these are stretches you can do on the ground. Do you have to be sitting on a foam roller? No, just sit on the ground or lay back, cross the leg over and lift and thread the needle, bring in the other knee to chest, like the old school hip stretch. It's the same thing. This is just kind of doing an active foam rolling on the bottom and getting the hip stretch in. And release, bring that leg down, come get a little sip of water if you can, take a quick break. We have about 5 more minutes. Get a quick drink of water if you can for me, Sherry. And we're gonna go into some active feet stretches. So first what we're gonna do is if you need it, you can always have a yoga block with you. That's an option. You can sit that right between your legs and you can sit back on it. That's an option. Otherwise, I want us to just have our knees in line with our hips. We're going to tuck the toes under, separating our toes. And we're just going to literally sit like this, sit tall. Maybe bring your hands towards your chest, like a prayer hand or holding your hands. Brace your core, sit nice and tall, shoulders back and down. And we're just gonna hold. If you want, the more you want without falling into your feet, you can slowly allow yourself to fall bottom towards your feet, but do not allow yourself to fall into your feet. So if that bothers you, stay here. Now we're gonna tuck those toes under, bring the knees together, and if you can, slowly sit back. Now, that might not be where your practice is today, and that's fine. So the knees together, they need to be touching. You can put anything in between you if you need to and just sit back on that block. The main, you don't even have to sit back at all. It's to just stretch the front of the foot out, because now we're gonna bring them up, as you can see, getting a nice stretch through the bottom of the foot and the toes, separate toes. So from this way, it looks like this. See how all my toes are trying to separate? Okay. And then when I tuck under, back and trying to bring them under and then sit back down and then come back up, bracing the core, opening them up. One more time, sit back, let the toes go under or hold yourself up. And release, come down to the ground. I'm going to show this from the front first, and then I'm going to turn to the back. So you're actually going to be seated in a cross-legged position and or one foot in and the other foot, the other bringing the hips towards the ground, whichever position feels better for you, or cross-legged position. What we're going to do is we're going to take our hands towards the side. We're going to take and interlock our fingertips in the middle, moving ourselves one way. Don't do anything yet. All we're going to do is bring our palms to one side. So I'm going to do something from the back. Look at me first. So I'm going to interlock my fingers in the middle first. Okay, barely, just kind of touching each other right here, if that's even possible, or touching. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to bring this hand here and bring the hand to meet it over on this side. So you're getting an actual shoulder upper back stretch through this side. So you take it from here and move slowly, opening up the chest, towards the side and hold. Allowing yourself breath and movement each time. Slowly release it back to the center onto the ground. Bring it to the other side, rolling the chin, facing forward, shoulders back and down, and hold on this side. And just be cautious moving side to side. It's not a quick movement. You don't want to bother your shoulder. Just want a nice stretch. So come to the center, reach over. Fingertips just can touch. You don't even have to do anything with this arm if you don't want. You can just leave it towards the side. Lots of modifications. You can just leave it right towards the side. And then we come back to the center, bringing these fingertips over, and you can leave this one to the side. Feel the lengthen and that strengthen all through the upper back, through the shoulder, through the neck, and release. Turn yourself towards the front. You might already be facing that way. I'm just facing the back to give you a guidance. You can see me. We have one last thing to do before we stop. We have to breathe, right? But also we have to do something with our necks. So we want to light right in front of me. We're gonna find our shoulders back and down, find a place that's peaceful for us, wherever that is. Hands can be together, hands can be to the side. We're gonna take our neck towards one side, bringing our ear towards our shoulder. The hand is going to come up, thumb facing the ceiling. If you want, you can gently grab a hold of your head and not even pull, just literally set your hand on top. And breathe. We slowly let everything come out of place. Take the other ear to the shoulder without bringing the shoulder up, right? Just let it fall. It's not gonna have a ton of flexibility necessarily. You might have a gigantic space between your ear and shoulder. That's okay. Bring the fingertips up, thumbs facing the ceiling, palm facing me. Stand up nice and tall. Just allowing your shoulders to relax, your neck to fall. Ear towards the shoulder. Gently take and place the hand on the head, not pulling it, just let it relax. Let it just sit right on top. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. Slowly take yourself to the center again. Inhale in. Lengthen the arms all the way up, out, and down. Again, up, out, and down. Make a nice full circles, up like a big sun, lighting everything up on the sky, in our insides, on the outsides, creating warmth, light, peace, and all over a sense of love and gratitude. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next Monday for Lengthen and Strengthen. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Sherry.